The 2022 Lancaster Archery Classic coming at you from Spooky Nook Sports Complex here in Manheim, Pennsylvania. Well, welcome, everyone. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside Olympian Mackenzie Brown. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
As we are setting the stage for some recurve archery here at the Lancaster Archery Classic. But before we get into all that and who's going to compete, let's take a look at how things shape up here in our shoot-up area, because we are sitting 18 meters away. The shooters sit away from that target, and when you look at the rules that we have in place for this, there's a maximum scoring of 136 points because there is a 12 ring in play, a 1.5 centimeter white dot that's available one time per end. You must call for it, and it is only allowed one time per end. So we're getting ready to get archery underway. So let's get to the third member of our broadcast team, Rob Koffel.
And now we're ready for the Youth Male Recurve Division. Our fourth place competitor is Andrew Choi. Andrew is from Morris Plains, New Jersey, and he was inspired by Team Korea. He picked up archery during the quarantine to take his mind off of school. Give him a hand. Okay. The third place competitor is Mr. Jin Kang from Ridgewood, New Jersey.
All right, so we have our competitors on stage, Mackenzie, and quite a story with Andrew Choi. He had to give up wrestling in order to continue competing in archery.
Oh, wow.
And there's a good look at somebody having some fun with their kicks. So
that's such a cool way to get into archery too. You know, with the pandemic, a lot of people had, you know, their lives turned upside down, and then to have something positive come out of it, like archery, like we all love the sport of archery. So for somebody to take something negative and turn it into a positive is always cool to see.
100%. So we had qualification rounds earlier on in the weekend. This is Youth Male Recurve, 11 to 17 years old. And if you watched any of our compound competitions, recurve, dramatically different. I mean, it's throwing an arrow down range, Mackenzie, but let's take a look at these shooters. And what are you seeing early from these athletes?
I think form is definitely something that's super important to both. A lot of their process looks very similar to more of like a Korean style of shooting, but really solid form, and it's looking like they're shooting pretty well. What's interesting to me, and it may just be because it's a youth class, but they're shooting at a single spot target, so you can definitely potentially see some broken arrows in this match.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So for Jin Kang, a little bit off to the right.
8.
So is Andrew Choi. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind whenever you're going to a finals venue, the practice range is just behind these guys, maybe 50, 60 yards. But the lighting is completely different in this finals venue than it is in the practice. So
I'm honored. It's really nice. Shout out to my coach. He's a great guy. Also, I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is the best movie of all time.
That's great. Thank you very much. Are you enjoying the classic?
Yes, very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
So as I was saying, the lighting is completely different here in the finals venue, so you can have a little bit of string picture difference. So that would be the difference between like recurve and compound. Compound, it would be your peep and your aperture lining up, you would see a different side of your peep more than you would see the other. With recurve, you're seeing the string, which acts like a back sight or a peep sight, so you would potentially shoot left and right different.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So is that something you can correct on the line knowing the lighting, or is that going to be a sight adjustment? Or, a little sight adjustment?
I would be adjusting my sight in this scenario, just because you can move that, but you'd be a little bit more consistent to just give it a couple of clicks.
First end of scoring done, 27 to 26. Andrew Choi. And so interesting that that Jin Kang wanted his arrows back. You know, do you have favorite arrows when you shoot? When you were shooting recurve, which by the way, probably, some people are listening to this don't really know what your deal is. So just tell us your deal really quick, and then I'll ask you that question again.
So I have switched to compound. So I'm shooting 2 indoor competitions. I'm shooting the Lancaster Classic, which I did okay in, learning experience, getting my feet wet when it comes to compound archery, and I will be shooting the Vegas shoot as well with a compound, and this year I'm looking forward to shooting ASA competitions.
Oh, outstanding. Heading off to shoot ASAs. That should be fun. First one, Foley, Alabama, coming up just really in a couple of weeks. These youth male recurve athletes really putting on a show for us. If you're watching this for the first time, of course, if you hit that small ring in the middle, that's worth 11 points. But just hitting the 10, even at 18 meters, or in essence 20 yards, quite an accomplishment with a recurve bow.
Oh yeah, and it looks like we've made some adjustments on Jin Kang, but as far as his competitor Andrew, it looks like he. Well, I say that, and then he shoots one to the left.
First one to the left.
First one to the left. But you asked me earlier about arrows.
Great recovery. I apologize for not getting your arrows back to you.
I accept your apology.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Shooting very well.
About the arrows, if we have favorite arrows, I think that comes down to how OCD you are about your equipment. And I was pretty OCD.
Yeah.
So I would have numbered arrows. And so there would be arrows that I know don't shoot well, or don't spin well, or don't, maybe I shot that one too much and the label's starting to wear off. I'll put that one in the back of my quiver. Or one shoots an 8 and it's more of a mental change than it is an actual arrow issue. Sometimes you just have to put a bad shot in the back of your quiver and then start with a fresh arrow.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really does. So looking at these two shooters, looks like both they're going with more of a micro diameter arrow. When you shot indoor recurve, what was your choice?
I shot small arrows. That's when I shot the best as far as indoor competitions, because I feel like with a recurve, the reaction of the bow feels so much different with fatter arrows than it does with the smaller arrows. And the majority of our competition outdoor has smaller arrows. So we're shooting 90% of our year with small arrows, and then you want to switch for 3 tournaments a year to fat arrows, your bow's going to react completely different. So I always shot the smaller arrows, and I think that that's a pretty smart way to do it, but everybody chooses their own. We've seen people be very competitive with really fat arrows and shoot recurve. So.
So for Andrew Choi, a couple of shots drifting a little bit into the red, where Jin Kang is right now just shooting really good groups.
8.
I like the breath. There's 30 seconds per arrow to shoot in the Lancaster Archery Classic shoot up. I like what I saw from this young archer. He just took his time, took a nice deep breath.
9. You both shoot with SW Archery Club. Do you and Andrew shoot against each other often?
Yeah, I mean, we're both cadets in the same club, so we have a lot of friendly matches. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you've practiced this very thing. So this feels like you've done this many times. You've practiced against each other? Up on stage like this? No?
Yeah.
Well, you have some homework for next year then.
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy it. We're enjoying watching.
I think that you've got quite a bit of personality from Andrew Choi, as far as like his comment about Kung Fu Panda 2.
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
the best movie ever.
Which is debatable.
It's debatable. I think the original is probably up there.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking
Same
that
thing.
one's a little bit better.
Yeah. It's something we'll have to debate with Andrew later on.
Maybe I'll have to do some homework and watch it again and see
Maybe that sounds
see
like
if there's some pearls in there to find.
Yeah, you know, I mean, now that you've gone from Southern California, of course, to Pennsylvania, there are those snowed-in days that are laying ahead here.
Yeah, and travel. You know, I'm going to be flying to the Vegas shoot, so maybe I can download that on to a tablet or something.
Yeah, we'll see if he shows up there, and you can give him the. Yeah, on social media you can.
You can break it down.
Jin Kang having a really good, tight grouping.
I think if you watch for this next shot from Andrew Choi, you're going to see a little bit of nerves. I could be wrong. It could just be something else, but his front arm looks to be just a little bit shaky. And Jin Kang, you're not seeing quite as much of movement there for the bow arm.
That did feel like a little bit longer hold for Jin Kang than we've seen. Andrew just kind of sent it, didn't he? Andrew Choi just kind of let it rip.
Well, Andrew Choi had a 9 there. His first one was a 7, and that one was a 9. It looks like Jin Kang had a little bit of a opening up of his group there. But everybody, again, still staying on that right side of the target, it seems like.
Whoa.
I hope that you're enjoying yourself.
I am enjoying myself very much.
Very good. Very good. We're enjoying watching. Putting on a good show.
So the final end in, and we're waiting for those official scores. And I like Rob's strategy there. Just put the mic up there and let him say what?
Yep.
What's going on? This, of course, for third place, guaranteed. So looks like as official scores come in,
All right, it is 107.
it's 107 to 101. Jin Kang will take the victory, and he will advance to shoot for second place. So Andrew Choi awarded with fourth place in the Youth Male Recurve 11 to 17 age bracket. And of course, we heard one of the archers talk about cadet. What exactly does that mean versus, you know, what we have, our category, Youth Male Recurve?
Yeah, so cadet would be for this category is 11 to 17, but cadet is I think under 18 is the category that they've got it now for like World Archery and
USA Archery.
USA Archery.
And,
Yeah, cadet is the name known for that class in USA Archery.
Starting archery to help his golf game. I hope it's working out pretty well. He's up on here on the final stage at the Lancaster Archery Classic. Give him a hand. Thank you.
Aarya Arun coming to the stage from Virginia in our Youth Male Recurve.
Aarya is only 11 years old. Is that correct, Aarya? Aarya is only 11 years old. Let's give him a big hand.
The crowd explodes because Arun is only 11 years old jumping on the stage.
And he definitely made a statement by making Jin Kang move. I think that's something that I took as a tactic as well. Whenever you're coming out to the finals, you don't want anybody to get too comfortable while they're up here in the finals. So if someone sat on the one stage, make a move to the other.
Agreed.
As far as a competitor goes, you've got to do some kind of defense, whereas in every other competition, you're not going to be able to do any kind of defense. So it's kind of interesting to get some kind of advantage at least.
Aarya Arun will kick us off, the 11-year-old.
9.
Over to Jin Kang.
I think he needs to load another arrow. He's wasting some time here. He can load before. That might be miscommunication because he can load before the whistle goes off, but maybe he's just taking his time. Still in the 9. Hey,
18
whatever
meters,
works.
18 meters down range, or about 20 yards. 11-year-old going toe-to-toe
9.
with Jin Kang, who advanced from the first match. Guaranteed 3rd place for one of these archers.
7.
After this match is over, the winner of this will advance to compete against our #1 qualifier. What is interesting to me, Mackenzie, as
9.
I look behind these two archers as we get those scores. The 27 looks like the 26. Let's go to Rob Koffeld.
You're looking very good up there. You're only 11 years old. Is this your first classic?
Yes.
Congratulations for being here on the stage. Good shooting.
Thank you.
You know, earlier today, when we were here as a group setting up this area and doing some camera blocking, after obviously elimination rounds, we ran into
All right.
Aarya, and
we have 27.
the conversation was with the person who was helping him, like where are we going, like what are you going to do, what do you think, what side do you want to be on, where's the camera, that whole learning process. But what's interesting to me is there's no one in the coaching box for Arun, so decisions have to be made.
I think sometimes as a parent, I'm sure it's very difficult to stand behind your kid or watch your kid compete. Like it's nerve-wracking for me to sit and watch my best friend go up there and shoot in the finals. So for some parents, that may just be something that if they can't control their nerves, they don't want that to leech onto their kid.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So whenever it comes to Aarya, he may be more comfortable just being up there on his own, focusing on his process. Maybe he's a genius up there, super genius, and he's just got a great mental game and doesn't have anything that he needs to hear from anybody.
Yeah, true. I mean, think about 11 years old, already been shooting for 4 years.
Yeah.
The amount of experience that 11-year-old has of doing something for 4 years, it's a lot of information in there.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention he's already got 2 10s in the target right now.
That's what I was looking at.
Working on a 3rd.
9.
And
That's what I was talking about earlier.
You heard that big slap.
In the previous match, so we heard a potential knock breaking just now, which is very impressive.
Jin, you feeling good up there? You starting to smooth out?
I don't know. I think I need to work on my timing a little bit, but I'm feeling a little bit more accustomed.
There you
I
go.
guess.
Glad. You're looking good up there. Aarya, you look good as well. Smooth as glass.
Thank you.
Okay, great smile too.
So you saw there in the video, you saw the broken knock. The thing that's a little frustrating as the archer is that could have been another 10. He could have had a 30. But because they're shooting the single targets, this is where I said there might be a downfall to shooting a single spot target, because that could have been a 10 on a clean face.
Right, which would take the lead from 1 to 2. That could be pivotal in this match in the advancement. So
Very much so.
And then the other thing is without anyone in the coaching box, he needs to make sure that he checks. Oh, it looks like the person giving him the arrow has kind of indicated to him, hey, you have a broken knock. So that also reduces, looks like he only has 6 arrows.
He just gets a broken arrow.
Yeah. But now with only 6 arrows, they're going to have to get the arrows back to him immediately so he can continue to shoot. Anyway, something not really concerning right now because
Another 10.
Arun is shredding right now.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is it doesn't look like he's using a finger sling. I don't think he is.
Arun?
Yeah.
He has something in there, yeah.
No, he's not shooting a finger
Oh, no
sling.
finger sling on his, yeah.
So, for recurve archers, you'll watch, you'll watch that, for Jin, he's got a finger sling that helps the bow not fall out of your hand, whereas Arun, he's got nothing holding his bow in his hand.
Which you would think could promote some torquing. Right, if you're holding this thing.
I don't think he's getting any torque at all right now,
I don't think
Greg.
so either. That's what I'm saying.
It's going super smooth
But
in the
Mackenzie,
middle.
that second arrow Arun had, contact again with the first arrow he laid down.
He's shooting too good at this point, Greg.
Yeah, he's a single. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's 2 arrows.
Very good. Looking great.
Keep
it going. Good luck.
I would have to look at the arrows up close, but that 9 looks like he's got a broken fletching. But
Yeah.
take a 9, you know. But it looks like he might need to go to Lancaster Archery Supply, the shop, and grab a couple of knocks.
Well done, you.
Well.
100%. There's a trailer here too.
Yes.
So you can run over the trailer before he rolls out of here.
Yep. Maybe get a new dozen arrows with the money he wins, because I have a feeling he's going to the gold medal match.
So Arun's out of arrows right now, so he's got to wait for the arrows to come back because one of the officials actually grabbed the arrow that he had with the knock broken. So I believe.
I don't think he cared to have it back, to be honest.
Yeah, but so now I think only 4 arrows in the quiver. But there's only
Good
one
thing
end
he
left.
only needs 3.
Yeah, good thing.
I have a feeling that he probably came here with more arrows ready to go and has just been shooting lights out and has broken that many arrows.
It would make a lot of sense.
10.
So Jin Kang, who we haven't talked about much, obviously looking at 11-year-old Arun here, just shredding it up. Just the confidence is just beaming.
Yep.
And Kang, who got into a decent rhythm early and advanced his way into this round, has let a few slip by.
I think he's having a little bit of a comeback here, though. That timing.
10.
So one of the things we talk about in recurve archery a lot is timing. Now, that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What I see is the reaction between the clicker clicking and your hands going away from each other, and also the timing of your shot. If you're holding too long, if you're making a quick shot, and it seems like that's a little bit off for Jin Kang. But it looks like Aarya has run away with this one.
Way to go. Nice shooting. Good shooting. PJ?
For official score here from Gary.
So Aarya Arun, as they wait for some official scoring. Looks like Arun checked out of this one. Didn't even need to be in the draft. And that would take Arun to our next match. So that would mean that Jin Kang is going to finish 3rd in this match.
There it is.
So it's got to be 115 to 103.
103. Jin Kang is our 3rd place finisher.
So Aarya Arun moves on with a ton of confidence and on fire. Congratulations to Jin Kang, finishing 3rd in the Youth Male Recurve, 11-17. So let's get back to Rob Koffold.
And our #1 qualifier in the Youth Male Division, is ChanYoung Mun from Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. He's been shooting for only 2 years. Please come on down.
So ChanYoung Mun, also known as Luca, as we found out in our shooter information card.
The number 1 challenger has bumped Aarya off to the left stage.
All right, so Mackenzie, our number 1 qualifier, took Aarya and said, hey, move on over.
Just like we talked about earlier, that tactic. It will be very interesting to see how Aarya responds after being up here for a match and then shooting. You get a lot of confidence from that first win rolling in, and you start to relax a little bit more, which can be good, which can be bad. So we're going to see how he responds to the pressure of being moved. But honestly, just the way he's responding, I don't think it's going to rock him. So let's see.
Arun shoots first.
8.
Here comes your number 1 qualifier, Mun. Total points available in the Youth Male Recurve after the 60 round plus their elimination rounds was 948. Luca Mun shot 821. Arun at 793. So quite a points advantage coming in here in terms of just score.
11.
But of course, Mun with a nice 11. All that starts even when we get to this point.
10.
All right, what are you seeing from these two? Oh, we'll go to Rob first.
I'd like to go over your equipment a little bit. I see that you're shooting a win-and-win bow, and you're shooting Conquest stabilizers, very nice stabilizers, an Excel sight, and Biter arm guard, and you're shooting X10 arrows? Shooting X10 arrows. Very good. Welcome to the Lancaster Archery Classic stage. You feel good up there?
Yes, amazing. Like, awesome.
Very good. Very good. Welcome to the stage. I hope you come back next year. Okay. Aarya?
All right, after the first end, we have 30-28 in favor.
All right, so 30-28 the score after the first end of 4. And so I was asking you before Rob had a conversation with our number 1 qualifier, what are you seeing from these 2 archers?
So I originally saw from Aarya the first shot, you saw it go left a little bit wide. And I think what I saw there was a little bit of cant. Now this is something that compound archers typically avoid because they're able to use a bubble or a level in their scope. Whereas recurve, we cannot use a level. That's not allowed on our equipment.
Oh.
So it's something that you have to learn either subconsciously or to be able to see your bow be straight up and down. So I think that was just a little bit of an adjustment to the stage, or who knows, the lighting might be a little bit different on the left stage versus the right stage. But you're seeing some pretty impressive shooting from Mun on the right stage. I mean, this is what the first qualifier is supposed to look like when they come up on the final stage. Oftentimes you see in competition, you'll see the first qualifier.
Wow.
The gold medal match isn't always as good as the semifinal or the bronze medal match, but these guys are definitely putting those numbers up there.
Luca Mun is shredding right now.
11 years old, you're shooting against youth that are up to 17 years old. How does it feel being one of the youngest competitors we have in this division?
Yeah, it feels awesome.
You're doing a great job, putting on a heck of a show. We're all enjoying it. Thank you very much.
And that's the type of attitude you need, huh? It does. It just feels awesome. But right now, I think the standout in this tournament has to be ChanYoung Mun, or we know him as Luke Young, from New Jersey. Only been shooting 2 years. I mean, when you look at Mun and you say only 2 years of shooting, what do you think about the form? What do you think, obviously, about the coaching influence that this archer's had?
It really comes down to the training regimen and the ability to go to competitions. I think experience is huge, but to be shooting for 2 years and be on the final stage of a national tournament, arguably international tournament. You've got a lot of pros who come from other countries, but that's the first wobble we've seen from Luke Mun. But whenever it comes to this, that experience is important, but it can be easily overcome with practice and repetition and good coaching.
So Mun, who's enjoyed a comfortable lead heading into this, now with a bit of pressure on, Arun comes up with a 29, but after a 7-8, is Mun going to bounce back?
8.
This is where that timing comes in, like we talked about earlier. We're going to go to Rob for some comments with Aarya.
Aarya, smoothing out?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice shooting. Nice shooting. Looking good. Looking relaxed.
7, 8.
You looking good? You got a nice lead?
I'm kind of nervous right now, so I don't think so.
No nerves. Just relax and have fun. Okay?
Well, one word, Arun, in those answers. Trying to stay focused. So things are getting a little snug here. Only 2 points, and this is it. The final end, unless we have a tiebreaker. And it is Mun versus Arun for the #1 spot.
We're back to a 2-point lead here for Luca, and it's been a 6-point swing in the last 2 ends. For both 2 ends, it's been 6 points and then 6 points, and it's just like, who wants it? Who wants this match right now? And that's what we're gonna see right here in these first couple of arrows.
9.
I like the shot. Good solid, just a little low.
Aarya's just taking his time, which I think is fantastic tactic.
11.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was the 2 points. We are back to even.
Pressure just got applied, too.
9.
Mun on that shot looked a little bit more form fit than he did on the first shot. Meaning, from our perspective, the release, the drop of the bow.
10.
Whoa. Okay, here we go. So now all of a
Aarya
sudden,
has a lead.
1 point advantage. Critical arrow for Mun.
10.
Good shot.
Here we go. Final shot. Taking his time. I love it.
10.
What a comeback.
And just a big exhale. Holy cow.
Let's get to Rob.
Well done. Love the energy from the crowd. Thank you very much.
Mackenzie, what a match. I mean, Youth Male Recurve 11-17. Rune just squeaked in on the minimum age limit to get into this category.
Here's our final score, 114.
Yeah, but he proved every bit of his experience and his ability in this match and his previous match as well.
Youth Male Recurve, he'll take home $550.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
And our champion,
I think he can go and buy the arrows that he wants.
I think they get a couple knocks. He did 100%.
A few knocks and maybe some fletchings.
Well, we appreciate the show that you just put on. That's amazing. Aarya, 11 years old. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you.
Great shooting to both of you gentlemen. Nice shooting.
So that's Youth Male Recurve as the archers exit the shoot-up area. That was a great come-from-behind victory for this young man. Incredible. As we're going to get the headset on Arun and see if we can get a couple more words out of him.
Yeah, what do you think of his match?
Exactly. I mean, the first thing I want to know is how you pronounce your first name properly.
Aarya.
Aarya, outstanding shooting. You were under immense pressure, and it didn't look like it bothered you at all. How was the round for you?
Well, I was a little nervous when I shot bad the first round, but then I came back better.
And you could see those arrows were starting to fall your way. Now, when you're shooting out there, are you paying attention to the score of your competitor, or are you focused just on your program?
I'm trying to not think about the score and just focus on my form.
So, listen, you've only been shooting a couple of years, obviously, but in terms of your satisfaction with your performance, how would you rate yourself?
Well, good.
We'll take good.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're the Youth Male Recurve champion, and you did it just squeaking in under the age 11. When are you turning 12?
August 9th.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we hope to see you at more of these tournaments coming up soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, see ya. Congratulations, Aarya Arun, Youth Male Recurve, #1. Stand on top of the podium. More coming at you. More with Mackenzie Brown when we return.